Amad Diallo's new contract is firmly on the club's agenda. A potential shock exit for Diogo Dalot, links with a left-footed wonderkid, a record-breaking young signing, and Ruben Amorim's comments that shows just why he gets being Manchester United's head coach. This plus all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news that will keep you right up to date with everything. Welcome to Man United Review. My name's Jamie. Before we get into it, please smash a like on the video. Let's jump straight into it. So let's kick off with Chido Martin. This might have been something that you missed over the weekend. So he scored, he won and scored a penalty again for the number 18. So it now makes him the top goal scorer in the history of the under-18 Premier League. That is insane. Very talented, very, very promising young prospect. Chido Martin, the top goal scorer, 37 in the history of the under-18 Premier League. Congratulations to him. Let's just hope he stays on that trajectory and can reach his full potential, because he does have the potential to become, an outstanding player. He's clearly showing it as he's levels above in his age group. Let's just hope he can kind of continue that development. I do think we are the right place to develop youth. That's the one thing that we have been getting right over recent years, is that kind of pathway to the first team. That's why he chose us above other teams. Wasn't for money. Other clubs were offering him more money. So I just really, really hope that he continues on that trajectory, because potentially we could have an unbelievable talent on our hand there. So congratulations to Chido Obi Martin for that. Let's go through the Amad Diallo story. So United insist that renewing Amad Diallo's contract is firmly on the club's agenda in the coming weeks. Amorim will hold talks over his future and is believed to be keen on keeping him. That's good. Again, there were reports last week, weren't there, regarding Amad Diallo's contract situation, which I brought you. That came from the Telegraph as well, who are a decent source. Again, all kind of suggesting that Amad Diallo is potentially in talks about a new contract. United do have the +1 though, so worst case scenario, we can trigger that plus once, but I think he absolutely deserves it. He's been, I think he's been arguably one of our best players of the season so far, which I know isn't, we've had one of the worst starts to the season that I can remember, but Amad Diallo's been one of our kind of shining. I would say him, Onana, I think, would be in for a shout. I think he's been really good this season, and Mazraoui, I think they would be my three. If I was picking right now player of the season, it would be out of those three, in whichever order. You can let me know in the comments, but I think he's been really good this season. So fair play. I think he's deserving of the new contract, and it's rewarding somebody for their good performances as well. It's not just a case of giving someone out a new contract just for the sake of it. He's worked hard, he's shown patience, and he's showing that actually he can perform at this level, and it's becoming a very influential player for us as well. So yeah, hopefully we'll get that done sooner rather than later. But more good news regarding Amad Diallo's contract situation. And then Statman Dave put this out. Across the Premier League this season, 3 wingers have averaged over 0.5 assists per 90 minutes. Amad Diallo, Mo Salah, and Saka. That's not bad company to be in, is it, as well? That kind of highlights that to me, that he is, a very influential player when he's played right and picked and kind of and he is, in form at the moment. It just baffles my head how, Ten Hag just decided to drop him for no apparent reason after winning, Player of the Month for August. Let's not forget he started the season really well as well, won Player of the Month, and then just started picking Anthony over him, saying that he's been training better, so he deserves a chance. Like, it's just absolutely shocking. We've got some comments on Amorim coming up later on regarding Amad Diallo as well, but let me know what you think about that in the comments. Now, let's go for the next story. So Real Madrid's priority is Trent Alexander-Arnold, but they are also interested in Diogo Dalot and made contact with the player's entourage when Erik ten Hag was still in charge. Manchester United will not negotiate for lower than £42 million. Now, that came from Spanish journalist Sergio Fernandez, who's followed by Fabrizio Romano and a few other kind of credible sources. So I do actually think that that's a fairly decent source when it comes to Real Madrid news. And this is not the first time we've kind of mentioned this. I remember doing a video, I think it was a couple of months ago, saying that if Real Madrid don't get Trent Alexander-Arnold, then their next transfer priority would be Diogo Dalot. And this is another kind of source coming out, and probably more credible than the original one, suggesting that actually that could be plausible, that Real Madrid would be looking at Diogo Dalot for £42 million, which begs the obvious question: Would you do it? Would you sell Diogo Dalot for 40 million or 42 million pounds to Real Madrid? I don't know. I'd be tempted, Not that I don't rate Dalot. I think he's he's shown his worth. He can play multiple positions. But if I'm looking at the squad now, Amad Diallo is doing so well at right wing back. Mazraoui could also play there as well. If you've got Lenny Yoro coming in to potentially play that right-sided centre-back position, then you've got choices down that right-hand side, and we are in a position where we need to sell to buy. If you're going to get in a left, I wouldn't do it now because we need to, if you're going to get in a top, because the reports are we're going to go for a top left wing back or left winger or somebody to kind of play in that left fullback position or left wing back position, then all of a sudden does Dalot become third choice on the right side? And then if you get an offer from Real Madrid, do you know what I mean? I don't know. You just tell me in the comments, what do you think? I would be half inclined. I would pick Mazraoui over Dalot at right wing, or if we were playing a back four at right fullback, I would. Amad Diallo is doing so well in that right wing back position. I kind of think, well, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Why would you take him away from that position when he's doing so well there? I know there's I'd be clamoring for him to play as the number 10, but then who, again, do you play at that right wing back position? So actually, are we a little bit stacked there now? So would there be more of a conversation to be had now that we're going to go to this kind of back three formation? Is there a world where we could sell Dalot as what is he one of the kind of players that we could sell for some profit? In order to bring in more players, who knows? But it's not the first time that we've heard that story, and there's no smoke without fire when it comes to it. So potentially Dalot to Real Madrid if they don't get Alexander-Arnold. Let me know in the comments. Would you do that? Now, in terms of, I don't want to say possible replacements, but this is a player who we have been linked with before, and it was mainly kind of touted as the left back or left full back position, but he's been playing in totally different positions so far this season. So Manchester United sent a scout to Lecce's game versus Juventus yesterday to watch Patrick Dorgu live and study him. Now, again, he's a player we've been linked with. He was kind of rumoured to be the linked with us in Tottenham, if you remember. And he's been dubbed the next Gareth Bale, absolutely rapid, left-footed, young up-and-coming player. I'll go for his 20 years old, 13 appearances, 3 goals this season, left-footed, mainly been playing on the right wing, though, this season. So his heat map is as follows. So he's been playing predominantly right wing, this season, but is a player that can play in multiple positions. He's played a couple of games at left back, couple of games at left midfield, left wing, right back. So he is like a bit of a kind of like a, I don't know, maybe a more attacking version of Dalot, because Dalot can play in those sort of positions as well. Maybe not quite as high up the pitch, although we've never seen him at right wing back. He's obviously playing left wing back, so it is kind of more of an attacking role down that side. And I'm not suggesting that we would get Dorgu as a replacement for Dalot. I think we're looking for more of a left winger. But again, another interesting option, left-footed right winger. We know we've been linked with Kuenda, similar profile. Obviously, Amad's the same kind of profile. So is this a case where actually we're scouting that kind of position where we do want another left-footed, potentially right winger or right wing back as competition for Amad Diallo, or maybe to even bring Amad Diallo in as a number 10? Who knows? But he would be a really interesting option, only valued at 12 million euros on transfer market as well. Although when United come sniffing, that's going to increase the kind of transfer fee. But really interesting profile of player, very highly regarded, very talented. Not one that I've watched a lot of, but I remember researching and doing all his highlights before. The guy is absolutely lightning fast. So you can see where the comparisons from Gareth Bale kind of come from, because he is that kind of explosive, fast player, can play in multiple positions, young, developmental, up and coming, ticks all of those kind of boxes. One to keep an eye on. I would like to see a bit more credibility personally, but really interesting kind of option, because the reports are mainly coming from Italian journalists, but they've been reposted by some more credible sources. But for me, interesting profile. Really, really promising player. Would be, relatively cheap, I think, going off of the value on transfer market. Can play in multiple positions, developmental. So definitely one I'm going to keep an eye on for you if we get any more links. Again, though, there were stories before linking in with Tottenham. So whether we're being used you know, as a way to generate views or generate interest. Who knows? You do always need to factor that in as well. But would be a really interesting profile of player. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. And then the last stories I just wanted to go through. So Amorim obviously made a few interviews after the game at the weekend. And I just wanted to run through because he just seems to get it. I think some of the things that he's saying out loud are some of the things that we've had conversations with previous videos and in the comments and stuff as well. But first of all, Manchester United win by a 4-goal margin in the Premier League for the first time since August the 14th, 21 versus Leeds. That was the opening game of the season when Ollie was in charge. That's madness, isn't it? That's the first time since then we've won a game in the Premier League by a 4-goal margin. Insane. And then after the game, firstly, he was asked around what he felt about the game. And I loved this from him, saying that the result was good, but we were pragmatic. It was not pretty, but we were pragmatic. We did our job, which is to win. So I love the fact that even though we scored 4 goals, he's still like, yeah, but we were quite pragmatic on the ball. Do you know what I mean? Which kind of shows that actually he wants us to play a lot more attacking than what we were. And I did think we got a bit fortunate with some of the goals and the chances, you know, but I love that. That's what we want to see. Attacking football, free-flowing football. Do you know what I mean? None of this kind of boring kind. I wouldn't say necessarily boring under 10. The games weren't necessarily boring, but they were very structured, is what I would say. And I think Amorim's going for that kind of more, wants more attacking as well, which is good. And then the other comment I kind of wanted to bring to you is he was asked, you know, around the result, he said, you just can't focus on the result. You have to focus on the way the result appeared. Like before the game, we have so much to do, but it is better to work with victories. Let's focus on the performances more than the result. And that was a kind of key point I wanted to bring to you, because if you remember previous videos, if you're a subscriber or you've watched any of the previous videos, one of the main reasons why Erik ten Hag was sacked was because of the style of play. Ineos want to see a style of play. They're not necessarily that bothered about the results this season. They want to see a style of play week in, week out, so that they can build their foundations from that, because that's the structure that you need, or the baseline, in order to get recruitment right and to get the right players in, the right profile of players and stuff. Because if you're constantly changing your tactics every week, you don't know whether it is the players or whether it's the tactics. So how can you recruit properly for that? And that was one of the reasons why Erik ten Hag was removed. And I love the fact that Amorim's kind of echoing that as well, which suggests obviously that's one of the reasons, well, probably one of the main reasons why he is our head coach now. We didn't move on to anybody else, is because he gets that. He wants that style of play more importantly than he does the results, because that's the foundation to build from. You can improve from that. You can make tweaks and changes. And I love that. I just wanted to kind of, you know, and that's why I just think he just gets it, doesn't he? He just seems to get what's required of him. As well. But yeah, I do like that's actually what he's looking for, is more the performances and the results. Obviously we need the results as well, but he's looking at that more than necessarily the results. And then when he was asked directly about Ahmed, I love this as well. He said he's a really big talent, but in small size. He did a great job, but he also has to improve. He is in a great moment. Ruud van Nistelrooy helped him a lot in his games in charge, and now he's helping me. So I love the fact that he acknowledged the fact that it was Ruud that brought him back into the team and kind of started the run of games that he's kind of had as well. So I thought that was really classy from Amorim, kind of acknowledging Ruud van Nistelrooy as the person that kind of obviously brought him back into the team once Ten Hag had gone, and his favourite was no longer an option on that side of the pitch. And then asked specifically about Xerxes, said he played in the position that suits him. It was like a false nine that helps him. We tried to put players in the position that allows them to shine. And again, that was one of the biggest criticisms around Erik ten Hag that I had, if you've watched any of my match reactions and stuff, was the fact that we were putting square pegs in round holes and not really playing to any player's particular strengths. Specifically when we were playing Xerxes, I remember saying, said that we're trying to make him Marouane Fellaini 2.0 by just hoofing long balls to him. That is not his game. That is not his play style. And again, I love the fact that Amorim's actually putting players in their right position to get the best out of them as well, which kind of shows around, because there's multiple other players that are playing really well in their positions. And it's just as simple as that. If you put players to players' strengths, then you're going to get good performances and good results. Hopefully, obviously I'm saying all of this, we've got a big game coming up Wednesday where we could come crashing back down to earth and have a bit of a reality check, which is probably, let's be honest, that's probably realistic. But, he's saying the right things, doing the right things, small tweaks. You know, all of these things are just slowly but surely, I think, improving the team, the atmosphere, everything feels different about United now. Forget the kind of, the couple of wins that we've had over the last couple of games. Everything feels a little bit different. It feels like we've got, a direction, somebody that knows exactly what they want, and they're going to help get the players and make them the better version of themselves as well. So I just wanted to bring those in because I thought they were really interesting points that Amorim was kind of saying. Like I said, he just seems to kind of get it, because I know some of you have been saying though in the comments from previous videos as well. So but let me know what you think about that in the comments. Let me know what you think about all the other topics discussed in today's video, because that's all up to date with the latest Manchester United news and transfer news. Smash a like on the video on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. See you in the next one.